I'll put this out to all of the cast. How has doing the program affected you in terms of spirituality? There's a big thing today where people are making a distinction between religion and spirituality. So they'll say, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. First of all, what does that mean to you? And has there been some evolution spiritually throughout the program with each of you? And that's to all the cast.
So, I wouldn't say I'm a religious person. I wouldn't I try to understand people when they say they're spiritual people, because that does essentially mean that they believe in something. They believe that there is some either energy force or goodness in others, or the ability to help one another, or something that they do believe in, right? I think, and this goes back to that last question too, which is to say that if we find out who is behind the God account, what would happen then, right? The idea is that it does not matter who is behind the God account. What matters is for us to find that reason to help one another, to try and be truthful to one another, to find kindness where you don't usually find kindness. I don't think that's a religious thing. I think that's a human thing. So to me, in my head, that would be my version of spirituality, would be the idea of us, Yeah. You're good there.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Trying to piggyback right off of that.
No, I agree. I agree with exactly what Serge is saying. For me, I've gotten to a place where I'm much more spiritual than religious. I wouldn't say I've taken a step back from the church, but I've been able to create my own relationship with. There better be Jesus on the phone.
Was that the Lord on your hotline? Was that God on your hotline?
Your medicine. But yeah, I tell myself what's happening. But yeah, I'm in the same boat, spirituality, which is, it's a human connection. It's about what we can do for each other. And that's the main premise of the show. It doesn't matter what you believe in, like Serge said. It's about what you can actually do to help someone else. At the end of the day, what the God account has been able to do for us is it's motivate us to help other people in their time of need. Instead of saying, I don't know if I can do this right now. No, we have an objective. We have to make this happen. And so I think that's what's most important. I think that's what's most important. Also, thank you guys so much for coming out. I think this is beautiful that you all take the opportunity to come out and see this show. So thank you.
Oh, that would be my
You're up now.
Oh, great. So the original question was, has the show sort of motivated me in my spirituality?
Yeah.
And I mean, I was raised Quaker, and that religion in and of itself is extremely inclusive, which I think is one of the best aspects of it. Growing up, I knew a lot of people who believed in God or who believed in an Allah who were also Quaker. And I think that, or didn't believe in anything and were also Quaker, because it's a community of people. And I think that that's something very special. And I actually, when I moved here, I realized that I lived down the street from a Quaker house, and I haven't been to one since I was like 17. So I've definitely given thought to going, and I need to go. So thank you for the reminder.
People are going back to church here. Yes, Joe.
What's interesting is, as a group of people here tonight, you're all connected with one thing. It happens to be our show. It happens to be this particular conversation, but you're all involved in the same thing at the same moment. And to me, that's spirituality. And if you want to make it a religion, then you can call art a religion. The quote that I've given to these guys usually is, you don't have to believe in God to believe in good. And I think that's true. And I think what the audience feels, and certainly what I feel, is I don't know that I've evolved in any particular way, spiritually or religiously. I don't go to church, but I do think that there is a world, a spirit, something that's got to be greater than we are. We can't be the only people in the universe. We can't. This planet can't be some sort of desert island that occupies individuals called humans. There must be something else out there. It's too vast. It's too populated with other kinds of forces. And I think once you see the size of where we live, and once you sort of feel the size of where we are, I mean, for all of you, this could be the entire world, or it could just be this moment. And I think that's what the show talks about, is that help happens in a moment. And in that moment, if you don't take advantage of it, you lose it. And what these guys do as what we call the God Squad is they take the moment and they pursue the moment, and then they fulfill the moment, something that most of us don't do. We see the moment and we think, oh, I haven't got time. But if we didn't do that, if we actually took the time to look at one another and hear one another and feel one another, this world would not be as crazy as it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Arthur Feiner.
I think you're now the national spokesman for God.
We can all leave.
You know, when they set me in this position, I knew I was going to have to come after Joe. I guess to answer one of the parts of your question as far as spirituality and religion, I think for me, what I started to understand was that religion was something that had a specific definition, right? So if you're Baptist or any kind of Christian and you follow the rules of whatever that religion is. And I think after a while, we started to evolve to understand that, like, one, all of these different religions had one thing in common, which was good, which was belief in a higher power. But two, they also divided us. And so then we started to fall more into the line of spirituality, which was the belief in the higher power, which is goodness and all, and not having to define it. And I think that's what's really important in this show. Like, we have so many different religions that we end up showing, and the center of it comes from a man that doesn't even necessarily believe in God. So it just shows how we have the power outside of these definitions to be able to help each other. We don't have to wait for something to define us to help each other. And we also don't need to allow something to define us to divide us. And so for me, that's what spirituality is. And that's why I'm one of those that calls myself spiritual.